this thing on? Because it's getting ready to be on.
Hello and welcome to Bell Ringer. My name is Greg. Your guests named today are Courtney Caldwell and Dr. Tye Caldwell, co-founders of ShearShare, recent winners of the 43 North competition who relocated to Buffalo and have begun growing their startup at a faster rate than even they expected. We talk about the process of finding the competition, pitching on stage, moving to Buffalo, and making hires since they've been here, including the welcome wagon that they've received from our community. So great conversation. Thanks to them for their time and you for listening.
Well, ShearShare is the first B2B mobile app that connects salon and barbershop owners to individual stylists to fill their empty salon space on demand. So we joke and say that the industry has actually given us a nickname, which is Hair BNB, but it's our way of being able to help keep small businesses open in now, my goodness, over 900 cities. The individual barber, hairstylist, nail technician, makeup artist, esthetician, massage therapist, they get access to flexible, affordable space to work when and where they need it and for the price they want to pay. And the salon, barbershop, or spa owner who has excess capacity, an empty station and open suite available, they get to make money on the empty space they already have. So it's definitely a win-win for the business side of our industry.
And Tye, tell us a bit about the origin story, how this company came to be.
It's funny you say that. All origins come from frustration. So my background is in barbering and beauty. Been in this industry for almost 30 years, award-winning salon and barbershop owner. And, we was expanding and rebranding our salon back in 2012. Well, during that time, there was just a shift in the industry where licensed beauty professionals on the contractor side, and also those coming out of school, and even the ones that were in the industry for a long time and started to want to become their own bosses. Well, this particular moment, when we were expanding and rebranding, this one licensed beauty professional came to my salon and said she wanted to work at my salon because she had just moved about 45 minutes to an hour away, but she only wanted to work there by the day. And my thought was, why is that? And I went home and told my wife about it, but she really was leaving and her clients didn't want to travel back and forth for the time restraints of having their kids in school, trying to get to, football and soccer practice. So she wanted to make sure that she was still close to her clients. She didn't lose any of them. And so I went home, told my wife about it. She kind of laughed at the process like that was a prank call. And so I was like, well, this space we have after we expanded and people are not, knocking down our door to sign a long-term contract anymore. And there are these different real estate plays where there are salon suites popping up, salons by JC, solar salon suites, spinning salon suites, and all these licensed professionals becoming their own boss. She just really wanted to rent by the day. And so I wanted to give her the opportunity, but I didn't kind of know that trend had started. And so giving her the opportunity to do it, and she took the opportunity to work 2 days, it was such a great experience. And with that experience came, me learning a lot about what she needed, but also how she interacted with my stylists, my barbers, and all the other licensed professionals. It was just one of those instances where, she came back to me after this experience was such a great one and asked me, could I do that for her in other salons? And, really not knowing how to really help her, I was like, why would you choose me to help you do that? She was like, well, you've been in the industry a long time. I love the experience I had with you. You understand the needs because you're a licensed professional and you're a salon owner and a barbershop owner. I really think that you can speak on my behalf, because if I call the salon and barbershop or spa, they're going to laugh at me and think it's a prank call like your wife did. And I was like, okay, well, that's a great reason. And so ended up, helping her get into these salons that she wanted to get closer to her clients. And it was a great experience for her, but wanted to make sure that we were creating an opportunity where we had apprehension and she had apprehension from both sides of the marketplace. So being on both sides of the marketplace as a licensed professional and a salon and barbershop owner, I wanted to make sure that I was giving the licensed salon and barbershop owner I was reaching out to a lot of information that they may have been a little bit, apprehensive about, but also making sure that this licensed professional who wants to rent their space have all their needs met as well. So it was one of those things where it was a chicken and egg, and you want to make sure you making both parties happy. But this was a new concept for me, and it was a new concept, I think, for the industry at large. And so with those experiences, I will say that she was able to get in all the salons that she wanted, had a great experience. Her friends were asking her, how are you getting in all these different salons and how are you signing these long-term contracts? And she gave them our personal number and who we have in our contact list today. And she said, no, that's this gentleman and his wife, they're helping me get into these different spots and I'm only renting by the day. And that's pretty much how it started. But we ended up helping, several hundreds of stylists, get into salons and barbershops all over the U.S. and Miami and California, even in Texas. And we got 4 cities, San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston in our network. So we was helping stylists, just find empty space in so many different locations.
You've grown the company so significantly since that initial idea and that partnership with one stylist. Mm-hmm. What brings you on the podcast today, obviously, is your relocation to Buffalo, which comes through the 43 North contest, which you were a winner of. So, I want to leave it open-ended, but, how did you learn about 43 North, get to the point where you thought you were ready to apply and then working through that process all the way to being on stage pitching?
Yeah. So we actually learned about 43 North. Gosh, babe, was it back in 2016, 17 when we first heard about the program? Yeah. And so we kind of let it kind of sit to the side, right? Because at this point in time, we were, just kind of getting our druthers together, kind of testing the market, still doing things a little manually. And plus we had a son was he in middle school? He may have been in middle school or just starting high school at the time. And so it wasn't a good fit. And then we had friends, Dave and Song of Squire, go through the program. And obviously, we all know that they're almost valued at a unicorn status right now. So things have been super well for them. They're hiring like crazy here in the Buffalo area. We're trying to get some of those hires before they do. And it just had nothing but positive sentiment all around it. And so dug into the program a little bit more. We said, I think it's time for us to make that move if we are one of the companies that is selected. And here we are. And I got to tell you, Greg, it's been the best decision for the growth of the company and for where our startup is right now.
So what was the day of the event like for you? I mean, I was in the audience. I remember the pitch well, and I believe you might have even worn some Bills gear to, warm up the audience. So tell us a little bit about that experience, because it's a packed audience for those that don't know, and really a big event in our city.
One thing I will say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So we know that you guys are big Bills fans, Bill Mafia, but the energy here is super exciting and refreshing. You guys have so much pride, so much respect for your city, but it's such a community feel here. So we wanted to make sure that as we come here, we understand, legitimately what you guys love. And it just made sense for us to really come up there and show you how genuine we were, not just about the city, but about this organization of 43 North, and let them know that we were all in and we wanted to make sure we represented to the fullest.
Yeah, I think back now and I'm like, you know what? The 43 North team does it well. They did it right. Like the way that they kind of introduce you to the community and vice versa, gearing up and leading up to finals day there at Shea's is definitely the way that I would do the same kind of program. And so, you feel that community support, you feel that warmth, but all the while, just because you're here in Buffalo for a week, you're thinking, okay, well, it's just because, I'm here for this competition and I'm getting the right introductions made, et cetera, et cetera. But then you come back, and as soon as we landed here in Buffalo, which was December 30th, is when we made the official move, that feeling still is consistent day in and day out, Greg. I can't tell you how many people we meet just walking to our car from our apartment in Seneca One, or having an event here in the building in the auditorium, or meeting some people on the east side at the Beverly Gray Center. Everyone is consistent in their love for this community and for the love of even people who are from the outside of the Buffalo community, and really welcoming us in. And so it makes it really easy to make Buffalo, New York home.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that kind of, the welcome wagon that the 43 North team and beyond rolled out. so that's, a great transition to Courtney. You were recently on, we, in conjunction with 43 North and Tech Buffalo, put on Western New York Women in Tech event, and you were gracious enough to participate and be a panel. So I just wanted to talk about, for you, that experience of being on stage with a couple other panelists and having, I think we're close to, 200 women in tech in that Seneca one odd that you mentioned. What did it say to you about the community as a newcomer and just that experience for yourself?
Part of me was not surprised, just because I kind of expect that for Buffalo now, right? Like, you guys consistently show us that, we come out and support people who are trying to do some pretty great things and people who are bringing more notoriety and more celebration to the city. So on one hand, I was like, yeah, like we should all expect this. On the other hand, I was just so very honored to be asked to be a part of that panel. I mean, amazing people, from representatives from M&T and from ACV Auctions and from Tesla, and the casino locally. So being able to sit on stage as a woman in tech who does not know how to code, right? So when you think about technology, you're thinking about, oh, you got to be a software developer. You must be. But hearing about the different circuitous routes that each one of us on that stage had taken, and then being able to motivate and encourage those who are sitting in the audience to do the exact same thing and find their own pathway forward. Like, I couldn't have asked for any other perfect platform to share that message with.
Right. And then, we're talking about kind of the warm, fuzzy, people side of Buffalo, and we're known as the city of good neighbors. So that's, like you said, no surprise. But for you as, a company and business owners now being here for a few months, I wanted to zoom out and think macroscopically about Buffalo's entrepreneurial ecosystem and tech ecosystem. From the business side, what strengths do you see here locally as you continue to grow the business?
That's a great question. I think that, we built our company. We started our company in Silicon Valley, and we resided in Dallas before we moved to Buffalo. And we've seen both incubators of YC Fellowship and 500 startups. I think that the city is really emerging into a tech hub. I think that there's a lot of talent here. I think the resurgence of Buffalo in itself is showing that they stand true to who they really are, and the resurgence is taking on that role and how it's growing by itself. And the people here, they love the city. But I think microscopically, the foundation has been set. I think 43 North, I think a lot of things that M&T is doing, but I also think that the pride of the city and having the bills here and all the things you guys, a lot of the boomerang people who have actually been in the city, grew up in the city, but left and come back, they brought their experiences and all their exposure back to the city, which is giving so much opportunity to people who have never left, and giving a lot of opportunity to the colleges and the students that are coming out, that are becoming engineers, that are becoming entrepreneurs. So I think, what we're seeing is nothing but growth. And this place is serendipitous for a lot of people here, because it's, 2 degrees of separation. So the city is on a rise right now, and I like what I'm seeing.
I concur. I think I have 2 things that are top of mind for me. One is hiring, Greg, and the second is just market expansion. So when we first landed in Buffalo, we were introduced and were able to hire a couple of people on our executive team. So we found our CTO and our head of revenue ops from connections here in Buffalo. We've then been able to grow the team now to 7 strong, about to be 8 here in the local Buffalo office out of a team of 16 people. So now half of the ShearShare team is here in Buffalo, living in New York. And then I think about the opportunity that we have just in the state. So many people don't realize that there are more cosmetology schools and barber colleges per capita here in the great state of New York than any other state in the US. And so that gives us a green field, right? When you think about wanting to introduce ShearShare to this rising generation of nail techs and barbers and braiders and hairstylists and estheticians, et cetera, that's a perfect opportunity for us to kind of get in on the ground floor. And so New York definitely has its perks, and so happy that we're here in Buffalo now.
And you mentioned the hiring, what are the growth plans for growing the team? I know you're up to 8 locally here, but where do you see this headed now that you've settled in?
So we thought we were going to hire 6 people. That was our growth plan. That was an aggressive growth plan for 2022. And we've already gone past that. And here we are, in the month of April. And so we've just finished raising our Series Seed and announced that a few weeks ago. I'm thankful for the local Buffalo community who also helped us to get across the finish line there. But we see us being able to double this team in the next year. And I think we're going to continue to see that type of active growth. The good thing about us starting out with our head of revenue ops and our CTO, like having those vital, very important roles filled, is that we get to finally take a step back from all of the kind of manual stuff that we were doing and say, okay, what is it that we need to operationalize? And then where does it make sense to grow the company and get the biggest bang for the buck while still creating some pretty fun, I would say, and influential tech jobs here in the Buffalo area.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate your time on the podcast and everything you're doing here locally to grow your company. My older brother is a barber, so I'm looking forward to sending him this podcast once it's out. Before I let you go, we always end on a couple hard-hitting blizzard round questions. So
Yeah,
I'll ask, and then we'll go Tye, then Courtney, and then back to me. So Tye, if you were a flavor of ice cream, what would you be?
you know what? I have to say, I like a mixture of chocolate and vanilla.
And I would be chocolate chip cookie dough, hands down.
Awesome. What's a book or TV show that you'd recommend?
Say it again. What kind of TV show?
Book or TV show that you would recommend?
Oh, wow. Book or TV show. So I would definitely plug my book, Mentor by Failure, 5-point guide to long-term success in the beauty and style industry. And also, what do I like? I like a couple of shows right now. I just finished. I finished the Bel Air show. It was pretty good. The story of Will Smith. I know it's a little bit, exaggerated in parts, but just watching that from my childhood, I enjoyed watching it in this new day and time and feel. The Bel Air show.
That's good. I would say for book, it's about Damn Time by Arlen Hamilton. And for show, I love a good documentary. So the show Game Changers, I believe it's on Netflix, just talks about the value of plant-based versus everything else we've been taught over the years. And so I always, get excited about documentaries like that.
Awesome choices. Couple more quick ones for you guys. Text or phone call?
I like phone calls. I mean, social media is good and everything, but I like to still stay social. So I like to get my, whatever I need to say right out the way and not have to wait and not read between the lines on emotions with texts. So phone calls for me.
Text me, Greg. Text me.
How about hiking or skiing?
Oh my God, that's a hard one now since we just moved here. We've always been hikers. We just learned to ski here. I'm gonna go with hiking.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with hiking. We definitely have a newfound love for skiing, but hiking's been there consistently for us for years. Hiking.
This is we might already know the answer to this one based on your wardrobe that you wore on pitch day, but do you prefer the Bills or Sabres?
We're gonna have to go with the Bills. I like the Sabres. I've enjoyed both games. I've gone to both, and it's been exciting. Just recently met the owner, Miss Kim Pagula, and but we're a football family, so our son plays football at the Air Force Academy. He's the starting safety there. Also, he's an All-American after this past year, and so football. I'm gonna go with the Bills.
Yep, Bills all the way.
Awesome. And last question, the most important one: newcomers to Buffalo. So, do you prefer on your chicken wings? Do you prefer a drumstick or a flat?
I'm gonna go with the drumstick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a drumstick. And we are plant-based, so we found the perfect vegan wings at Sunshine Vegan Eats. So shout out to Nikki and her team there.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you guys very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you
so much for having us, Greg. That was fun.